With Senator Bernie Sanders out of the race for president, all Democrats are watching the party's presumptive nominee, Joe Biden. The former vice president is now working to win over Sanders supporters. It's the type of momentum that he needs as he faces President Trump in November. CBS News political contributor and Democratic strategist Lynda Tran joins me now. Lynda, this is the first time you and I have talked since we've been all reporting from home, so it's good to have you on the show again.
Great to be with you, Lena.
So, Lynda, in-person campaign events and rallies have all stopped due to the coronavirus, but the president has been traveling to some important battleground states. What are some of the challenges facing the Biden campaign right now in that era?
Well, I would say the biggest challenge is that in the pandemic world that we're living in, the president has the advantage of a daily microphone that I think the former vice president has had to grapple with. And while he has been doing his best and his campaign has certainly been making lots of opportunities for virtual events and opportunities to interact with him that way, doing interviews, it's just not the same thing as being the sitting president, being at the center of a crisis and being able to talk about it on a regular basis.
Lynda, earlier this week, Senator Sanders asked his own delegates to sign agreements, barring them from attacking other candidates. Has Sanders ever done this before, and what does this mean for the Biden campaign?
You know, I'm not aware that anyone has done this before, let alone Bernie Sanders. I think it makes a big statement about his desire and willingness to commit to really uniting the Democratic voters, whether they're progressives or consider themselves to be more moderate. I also think that it's honestly a recognition that there have been some scuffles online over the last year, certainly, but also since the previous cycle, where, as we know, supporters of Senator Sanders have often been labeled the quote-unquote Bernie bros for some comments and attacks that they may have made on others in the social media atmosphere in particular. So the fact that he's asking people to commit to a certain decorum and a certain kind of behavior, I think speaks volumes about how urgently he feels like that kind of behavior needs to stop, and also that at this moment, the most important thing for Democrats is to show a united front.
I want to follow up with you a little bit on this point, Lynda, because Sanders supporters are known for being incredibly loyal. How much should we expect to see Sanders out on the campaign trail if restrictions are lifted, campaigning and stumping for the former vice president?
I honestly, Lana, I take Senator Sanders at his word when he said that he was going to be all in for the former vice president and that he was going to encourage anyone who stood with him within the Sanders movement to also now turn toward the general election with a great deal of support for Vice President Joe Biden. And so if there is the opportunity to be out on the trail, to be part of events, I would imagine he would take part in them. And in the absence of these sorts of live events and rallies, I would still expect him to be virtually whipping up the troops, so to speak.
Lynda, it's great to have you. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.